when it comes to getting your book, like your physical paperback or hard copy book into Barnes & Noble's, it's very important to first understand Barnes & Noble's business model, but also to understand their relationship with big publishers, like most of the books you see on Barnes & Noble's shelf. So first off, Barnes & Noble, although it's a bookstore and we love bookstores, it's also a business. So they're looking at things like marketing, profit, losses, risky books, safe books, and those are things that publishers are usually able to not guarantee, but able to shed some light on. So if you're with a big publishing house, probably it's a great book. You know that the relationship between publishers and Barnes & Noble means that publishers are going to spend money on marketing. They are going to promote the book and promote the author. They may even, be paying for end cap space and stuff like that, and meeting with Barnes & Noble months and months in advance before doing placements in store. So when you're an indie author and you're approaching Barnes & Noble, think like a publisher and think like Barnes & Noble and present the information that it's really important to them besides just the book. So that information is, hey, I'm on Ingram Spark or Barnes & Noble Press, and I'm easily orderable, and I'm distributed through a service you already use. Make sure that you have margins that are aligned with the industry, so 40 or 50%. They're definitely not going to stock a book that they're not going to make money on. So when it comes to the next piece, which is the marketing, talk about how much of an author following you have. Talk about how much marketing you're going to put behind the book being in Barnes & Noble. That is the kind of stuff that now takes you a little bit out of the author-writer role and puts you into the publisher marketing role, which is really the other piece that Barnes & Noble is looking for. Besides, of course, good stories and really eye-catching covers. So make sure just the looks of your book are the size that is, required by Barnes & Noble. The book cover is something that's aligned with best-selling books in your genre as a, kind of a good go-to thing to compare yourself to. But really, you need to come out of the author. Of course, you want to describe your book and your synopsis, but that should be more of a really summarized couple sentences, and the rest should be brass tacks. This is my distributor, Ingram Sparks. Here's my ISBN. This is the marketing I'm doing. This is, the sales that I've seen so far. Pre-orders are an amazing indicator that there's interest, and not only that there's interest, but that you're good at marketing. So if you have pre-orders on Amazon, definitely share that. If you have pre-orders through Ingram, which you may not be able to see the exact amount for, but if you know if other bookstores are ordering for you, definitely include that information too. And as always, start local. It's so much easier to get your books placed in local Barnes & Noble stores to where you live, because besides just the numbers and the books, they do want to support local authors. So if you have any questions on more about working with Barnes & Noble, either through stocking your books with them or doing an author signing event, comment Barnes & Noble, and I will share my free author marketing guide, which talks all about working with Barnes & Noble and really how to get your mind from author to self-publisher to marketer.